Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. It's a new year, and Fairway has deals this week like 93% lean ground beef for just $4.99 per pound, USDA choice beef rump roast for $3.99 per pound, buy 2 8-ounce bacon-wrapped turkey broils for $7, or buy 10, get 5 free on all-natural boneless pork ribeye chops. Your new year starts at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
Welcome in to the Fitness Fanatics.
We were a little rusty.
Well, it's been a month since we've been on. We got kicked off the air for 2 weeks, but we're back now.
No, we didn't. They were holidays.
Put a bow on 2023. We're off to 2024. So I know technically you shouldn't be saying Happy New Year past like January 3rd, but since it's the first time we're on the air.
Who says that?
Well, it kind of gets old after a while, you know. But this is the first time you guys are hearing our voices in 2024. So I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. It's been like 3 weeks since we've been on the air. I think December 17th was the last time we're on. So 3 weeks, but we're back.
Mm-hmm.
We got you covered for all things health and wellness for 2024. We have an awesome guest coming in studio, Dr. Adam from Spine and Sport Chiropractic, one of our favorite people on earth because he keeps us healthy, which is fantastic. What are you pointing at?
There's a Christmas tree covering your face. I want you to scoot a little bit that way. I was trying to do a nonchalant, but
this right here?
Yeah.
I was like, is there somebody?
Scooch. Okay. Jeff, you have to just tell him straight out when you want him to do something. He's not good at hints. Tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you pointing at?
He doesn't know context.
How are we good now? We good?
No, it looks great. Yeah. Now the tree's just a nice little accent on the
Everybody
shot.
Can see me.
Looks great. Look great.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
All right. So
Dr. Adam
from, I said, one of our favorite people. He will be our first 3-time guest.
Yep.
On the show. This will be his third time on. We like to bring him on first of the year, just because I know everybody gets a little maybe overdoing it. January, New Year's resolutions. I'm going to be healthy. New year, new me, all that stuff.
I'm going to go run 10 miles.
I'm going to go jump on the treadmill, a 10 incline. Just power my way through, even though I haven't worked out in 6 months, and then you're going to get hurt.
Or 12 months.
Or 5 years, or however long it's been.
It's perfect time to get him on here.
Yeah, I know, right?
You don't want people to burn out. Like, it's awesome. Right. You're in the gym.
Right.
Step one, you nailed it. Just don't burn out. It's really easy to do.
So Dr. Adam is at Spine and Sport Chiropractic, and he just takes a really good kind of holistic approach to movement is what we like about Dr. Adam. So he's going to try to help find the root cause of why you're feeling pain and help fix that. So besides
just being sore from having worked out for a year.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need someone to tell you that too. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, you just got to keep doing that because that's sore. You're weak. That muscle's weak. You got to work it.
Well, before we get into
he'll give you homework. You will still have to do exercise when you go see him.
Before we get into the show and talk about our 10-week challenge that kicked off yesterday, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So big shout out to them. We appreciate all their support. Well, we kicked off our winter 10-week challenge yesterday. We have 90 new members so far that are starting with us. So we still are taking enrollments up until probably the end of next week for this winter challenge. So if you already have fallen short of your New Year's resolution for working out on January 7th, now you can join us. So you can go to fxblincoln.com for more information. We still have room at some of the class times. Our morning classes are pretty much full at 5 and 6 a.m. So those classes are going to be like New Year's Eve at Times Square, pretty much. So just
more motivation, more people to work out.
It is. There'll be a lot of good energy.
Those are kind of fun sometimes
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
when you got multiple people on there working with you.
Yes. So we have 90 new people. So hopefully that means we have about 90 new listeners.
Yeah.
They should all be listening to the show right now, as we told them yesterday. It's actually part of the requirement. If they want to win the $1,000 prize, they have to listen to the show.
No, that's not true.
I failed to say that.
You totally did not say that. No.
Okay. Did you share it? So everybody should be
I
listening.
did.
Okay. Okay, good. So one of my favorite things about the start of a 10-week challenge is just everybody with goals, reasons why they wanted to start. And our group is just a dynamic, interesting group. And the fact that we have people of all different ages, fitness levels, different reasons they want to start. We have a saying on our walls at both gyms that Aaron Davis says all the time, which is strong reasons, weaken excuses.
Yep.
So you need to figure out what your reasons are for 2024 and don't fall into the trap of you start something because it's the new year and then you peter out after a week or two. Even just driving by, like just driving like to our gyms, driving, past like Genesis and stuff, just millions of cars in the parking lot. And they're all the members that go there, probably like some of our members are like, oh, well, just give it a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And every
Let's
year
not do
I'm
that
like,
this time.
yeah, every single 10-week challenge is like, no, not this time.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So, but it's fun. I think our fit members love having new people in the gym because it kind of gets them reinvested.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, well, because it's such a cliche and leading up to January, you see memes and stuff about get ready because the gym's going to get busy. And so I think the regular gym goers, it's something that they're kind of like, oh gosh, here we go. My routine's I got to get there a little bit early.
Yep.
I got to get there to make sure I get my spot, all that stuff. I can park where I'm used to parking. I can do all that stuff. But then it seems like this big deal. But then when you're in it, you really do kind of enjoy the atmosphere and the energy. It does help. It's inspiring to other people too, to see some of our members who've been doing it for years and years and years. They're constantly inspired by new people and seeing them struggled at the beginning and kind of watching them get better as the weeks go.
Because that's where we used to be.
Yeah. So I think that it's one of those things like in life where we make it out to be this bigger thing in our heads. But the reality is we know how to handle large groups of people in the gym. Our instructors know how to teach those classes. So this is really just another start of a new session for us.
That's good. That's one of my pet peeves. I can't stand when people are like, oh, you not
being rude about it. Yeah.
It's like, how dare these people try to be healthier?
Yeah.
It's like, help them out. Like, they're doing a hard thing showing up to the gym.
Yes.
Like, and that's why Farrell's is great because you guys, it's a non-judgment room.
Yeah.
You guys
We
help
don't
them get
really
ready.
see that just beyond the minor inconveniences of, like I said, having to get there a little bit early. And
well, and now we got day
new
one
routines.
day one of our challenge tomorrow, and it's supposed to be Snowmageddon.
Of course.
Yeah, I saw that. What are we at?
Like-
4-6 inches?
Who
I don't
knows?
know. Fortunately,
Who
it's not
knows?
supposed to start snowing as of right now until like 6. I mean, that's according to my Verizon, my state-of-the-art Verizon phone weather map.
I'll go to weather.gov.
We're
Mine
gonna
still
6
says
a.m.
6 a.m. too.
So the kind of the bad thing about us is most businesses aren't open at 4:00 in the morning. So like trying to get our parking lots cleared is really what kind of stinks about
Yeah,
being
it can be
open so
tricky
early.
sometimes.
In one of our gym locations, they're on top of it, but it's like if cars start pulling in at 3:45, then you're just out of luck. Like the plows just can't get the whole parking lot. So starting after 6 or so is fine, because at Yankee Ridge we're not there pretty much all day after 9:30, so plenty of time to get it cleared.
Yeah.
And at the other gym, they do a good job of clearing the parking lot for us.
Mhm.
It says chance before 4 a.m. all the way through Monday night, 2 to 4 inches throughout the night, 2 to 4 throughout the day, starting before 4 a.m.
2 to
We'll
4
see.
is fine.
Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah,
manageable. It's
not
not
big
going to be not quite snowmageddon.
Yeah.
A little slick though, so drive safe.
Yeah,
I know that's our only concern is this will be our son's first time going to school in the snow.
yes,
driving.
and we know, like, if you have teenage boys and you try to explain to them how to
Oh,
drive,
they know
we got.
everything. I know.
I know. No, you don't know, actually. I mean, heck, going to the gym on Thursday. I was just driving down Pine Lake, getting ready to turn on the 40th, and I just slid right through the light.
Yeah, that was that sneaky slick day that we had.
Yes.
Mhm.
Fortunately, nobody was on at 3:45. Nobody's really on the road, but I mean, I'm just driving, zooming down the road. Everything looks fine. I get in the turning lane. I go to stop, and I just just right out in the middle of the road. So yes, even though you think everything looks good, it's the kind of the black ice that, especially on days like that, where
it's
you're
supposed
like,
to rain a little bit too before
Yeah.
that 4
Super.
a.m. So it's
yes,
black ice kind of weather.
but the city has been out treating the roads that I've seen anyway.
Today?
Like, well, just over the last couple days, I've seen
Oh yeah, I saw him Friday.
I've seen snowplows out, just kind of doing the pre-ice treating and stuff like that. So when it's coming, it's not as bad.
That also, the more prepared we are, the more likely that it's not going to be what they
if
say.
we're
it's gonna
ready
be.
for it, we got our ice melt
So
down.
let's go.
and
We
it's
bought
here it goes.
extra ice melt just in case for our house, so we're hoping we're jinxing it just by being prepared.
Yeah, we're like, do we have ice melt?
We should actually put some of that out today to even make
See?
it seal the
Yes.
deal
Just
of
to
it
throw it
not
out
being
there.
as big of a deal.
Yeah, but don't go crazy. Don't want to ruin your concrete.
Oh, that's
We
true.
rent, so I don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
No. That's new for us. We're usually not that prepared.
Yes.
Although we do have a ring camera now, so I would actually appreciate if one of our children are going to fall coming in or leaving.
we can see it.
Yeah,
now.
we'll be able to see it, so it'll get some entertainment value out of it at least.
Yes, we do have a ring camera. We haven't had. When did we get that? Just a couple weeks ago.
Black Friday, we bought it. So yeah, we've had it for a month or so.
Okay.
What?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, okay.
This is somebody who's texting me, so I was distracted and looked down.
So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing one of our kids fall, which sounds terrible. I don't want our kids to fall, but if they're going to, at least we'll be able to watch it.
As long as they don't get hurt, they slip. It's kind of funny.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids aren't like 5 years old, right? So we're not like throw the baby out there and let them slide down the driveway. The kids are older and they know everything. But yeah, just trying to talk to Ben about, because this is his first time. It's just, yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, he's gonna have to learn through practice. I think most young guys will have one point in time where it's like, oh, too fast, or
that
maybe
moment.
I shouldn't have tried to pull a donut in the parking lot.
Oh gosh.
Let's hope he's smart
when
on
I was
that.
16, 17, I had a 82 Monte Carlo, and I'd go out and I would just do donuts just gun it. If I tried to do a donut right now, I'd probably be white knuckling the steering wheel.
I don't even know how to do it. I wouldn't even know how to do it.
Now you're looking at
we've
young
talked
Ben,
about this
and
before.
you got to know that's your son. He's probably thinking the same
I
thing.
know, and his car is kind of a tank. It's like a
Ford 500. Yeah.
So it's a very solid.
heavy.
It's a heavy car. I always think it's like driving a little tank. So it would probably be a good donut car.
Yeah,
Real
usually
heavy
the
and
rear
just-
wheel
Guys
drive.
aren't helping your case at all.
And well, he's not
Ben, if you're
listening.
listening, don't do it.
He's not.
He's
I'm
not
worried
listening. He's
about it.
sleeping. He's sleeping right
He's
now.
asleep.
Yeah, he's not listening.
I know.
Our kids don't listen to our show. What do you
Right.
mean?
I don't know where he would even be able to do donuts. Well, probably at Culver's one after they close. But he
Sutter
doesn't.
Haven
work.
text line 402.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
getting it. Well, I was going to get to that. If you have any questions, comments, you have any New Year's resolutions you want to share with us that are fitness and health related, you can reach out 402-464-5685 on the Starter Heyman text line. We're also live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo channel. We have a new channel, right? 961.
Yep. Correct.
I heard that on one of the shows.
Yeah. So now it's not just our local radius, all throughout Nebraska. You can watch the ticket.
Interesting.
The entire Nebraska region, as Allo continues to expand. So wherever there's Allo, there's 93.7, 95, 96.1, 93.7 the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere in Nebraska, you can join us virtually doing Pharaohs. We actually have a lady in Winter Park, North Carolina, that's doing the 10-week challenge, and a lady in O'Neill, Nebraska, doing the 10-week challenge. Yes. So, yeah, we actually have 8 people, eight ladies that are all doing the 10-week challenge, 100% from home.
And that's what's great about the virtual platform too, with the storm potentially coming. So even our members who are in the gym members, they will be able to do the virtual workout on Monday to at least get the ball rolling and get started virtually if they can't get into the gym.
Yep. What are you laughing about?
Because you're not listening.
I just was looking
at... You got a text message from an Iowa fan.
No.
Because you weren't listening at all.
No, I know. I wasn't. It was actually, I got a text message from a Steelers fan talking about the Ravens. And I'm like, they weren't even playing their starters.
I thought that's okay. Saw the tweet that Justin Fields is getting traded.
Oh, no, I didn't see a tweet. No.
Harrison's been chomping at the
We're
bit.
trying not to talk sports.
Well, we went long enough. It's fine. You guys can talk about sports for the last couple minutes.
We only have about 8 minutes left. So we'll get our sports kick in. I can't remember if Dr. Adam's an NFL guy or not. So we'll have to refresh our memories.
Okay.
So you saw a tweet there? Fields is out?
No.
Okay.
I was just trying to get you more distracted.
It's the ultimate. It's
not that hard.
And we have about 4 months to hash this out.
Mm-hmm. Is he playing for his job today?
It's like, it's just so weird because no matter what the Bears do, we're still going to cheer for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just being the sports fan.
Yeah.
And that's why we're not general managers. We're sitting here on the ticket talking about it. Well, not actually making decisions.
It's tough. The closer it gets, it's like the Carolina pick all over again, except this time you can maybe get even more.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But it's because there's plenty of teams that would take Justin Fields in a heartbeat.
Now, if there's plenty of teams that would take him, why wouldn't the Bears just keep him? That's the question.
It's not a good fit.
Because you got a young roster. You can get even more picks. You can get a quarterback that you're not going to have to pay a bunch of money to. It's going to give you more salary cap flexibility.
True.
And you keep adding talent.
Well, and you don't have to pay the quarterback a bunch of money because the quarterback's already made a bunch of money in college.
Yeah. It would be on that rookie deal.
So that's kind of the one thing,
yeah, but we were talking about that. How many first round, first when you take a quarterback first, the first quarterback taken, how often do they end up being the one? Because we were talking about how many of the big time quarterbacks right now were not first round.
Well, number one picks. Yeah, there's always a risk factor, right?
I think it's a pretty high risk.
It is.
Pretty
it is
low return on the investment when it comes to that.
And it's like, what gets me excited is the fact that they can trade a couple times back.
Mm-hmm.
This morning when I was cleaning the gyms, I was listening to a draft podcast, which is what I'll be listening to for the next 4 months. I mean, that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the CBS Sports, Rick Spielman, who's the uncle or he's related to JD Spielman.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be the GM of the Vikings, so he's on it. And they were just talking about how the Bears could trade a couple times back.
Yeah.
If they're not taking a quarterback. So that kind of, I'd almost rather just run it back again with Fields.
Yeah, I think I'm there too.
Because it's risky.
Yeah, it is. Because I don't know if you're going to find anybody you get another quarterback, Justin Fields. The reason he's on all these NFL highlight reels, not because they're winning, because he just does things other quarterbacks can't do. So regardless, I think no matter who you grab, they're not going to have the same tangibles as Justin Fields. You're going to lose something significant.
Yep,
and it's a gamble.
It's like the current players, love him. So it's so then you break the locker room maybe, or it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, if it doesn't work out, then you just go get a quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always going to be good quarterbacks available,
especially when your team is really bad and you always have really high picks.
And when you've started 35 quarterbacks in 30 years, I mean, what's another year? You just go roll with the same guy, and
full of darts just every.
Well, and look at how close I mean, the last year the Bears just weren't close. I mean, they won 3 games. This year they've blown multiple double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. Since they got Montez Sweat, their defense has been playing great. Now, is it because they've been playing Arizona, Atlanta?
That helps.
Like that. But Arizona just went into Philly and put up 38 on Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think today is interesting is if the Bears can win in Green Bay, if Fields can go up there and play well and win in Green Bay, which is something we have only done, beaten the Packers twice over the last 10 years.
That makes me nervous.
Twice.
As a Packers fan.
And for those who don't know,
when we
play them 2 times a year, not just once. Like when we say, oh, Nebraska's beaten Iowa twice in 10 years. Oh, they only play once.
Mm-hmm.
We've only won twice, and we've played 2 times a year. So they're 2 and 18.
Play in Lambeau every year, once a year.
Well, they play in Chicago once a year.
Well, I know.
Also.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just in Lambeau.
No, they're 2 and 18.
Oh, I thought you just meant
in the last 20 games against the Packers.
That makes me nervous as a Packers fan.
If they can go up there,
I wish we didn't have to rely on this win to get.
Well, you do.
To the playoffs. I know.
And this is like the Bears Super Bowl.
It is.
And usually the Bears, when they win their last game, I'm always like, we're on a 3-game winning streak. Everybody else lost their last game except for the Super Bowl champion. So I'm kind of hoping that like maybe the Bears can be like the Lions.
They will be, I'm sure.
Like last year, Lions went in there, nothing to lose. I mean, they weren't going to gain anything, but they wanted off-season momentum. They won in Green Bay, knocked them out of the playoffs.
We needed to win, lost.
And here we go again.
We need to do that, Jordan Love.
Yeah, let's. Yes.
You can't go from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Like, we're not doing that.
No. So we got to end it right now.
You could just become Packers fans.
No. What?
Like, you could just officially today recommit.
Today?
Or maybe next week I'll bring in some hats and you guys can do a commitment.
If I had to reassign and be a Browns fan, if I really had to, I'd pick another miserable franchise.
Yeah.
Just so I could feel like I fit in.
Feel like home. All right.
Well, we're going to go to break here. Hopefully Dr. Adams moseying on. Oh, he's already here already. Yeah. Okay, good. Well, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Ready to upgrade your combine with new technology to make your harvest more efficient, meaning more money in your pocket? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help find the right combine for harvest. Plus, when you purchase a pre-owned combine from Landmark, you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network, along with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running, reducing downtime. View inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Welcome in. Dr. Adam, did you get the headphones figured out? There's an R and an L inside
you have
to
them
go.
on backwards
You
for
got,
sure.
I think
Wrestling match.
You
It's
got
okay. They're on backwards for sure, but that's
no, he had them on right.
nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. I have mine on
Yeah,
backwards.
I have enough time without being confused.
So do you. You have yours on backwards too, Jeff. We're the ones. It's us.
Letters are hard. I mean, it's the same audio going.
It
through.
is. It's the same.
Actually, mine are right.
Oh, the chords are different. then.
Let the record show that
Oh,
my
okay.
headphones and Dr. Adam's headphones are
didn't
on
realize-
correctly,
That the chords were interchangeable.
and Nicole's is wrong.
It's right now.
It's right, but it was wrong, right?
Yeah, it was.
And she's not wrong very often,
That's true.
at least in her
Say,
mind.
Gets elk.
That we don't get the admission of wrongdoing very
I don't
often.
give 100% admission. Usually I'll assign a percentage, but that was my fault. 100%. I can't even blame you.
No.
10%.
All right, Dr. Adam, look what you walked into. Marital
Yeah.
squabbles.
I don't know if I want to be in the middle of this. But
Well, how have you been? It's been 1 year since you've been on with us. How is
Yeah.
how's 2023 been for you and Spine and Sport?
it's good. It's real good. We're moving along. We're busy and we're helping people reach their goals and get back in there. And no complaints really.
That's
Awesome,
good.
Awesome. Yep.
What are your 2024 fitness?
Did you
go ahead.
have?
Oh.
Well, first of all, we also have to acknowledge you're our first three-peat guest. First time we had a guest on. Three
Three-peat.
times.
Michael Jordan right
Yep.
here.
Yep.
All right.
The Michael Jordan of
All
Fitness
right.
Fanatics. Woohoo! That's awesome. You provide us with great, great content. So
Right.
we love having you on. But so did you have resolutions for 2023? How did that go? Did you meet your goals or?
I don't remember.
I know, right?
I have a 1 and a 4-year-old. I just like trying to
Hold on.
Survive.
Is today the day I take them to daycare and preschool or pick them up? That's,
Yeah. Right. Yep. Well, what
But-
about looking forward then?
This year I've been trying to just I sat down and kind of put some stuff down on paper for the first time. I don't know if it's almost turning 40 or if or what, but I'm trying to just become more focused and in line with my efforts. So I always spend a lot of time on work stuff, treating people, but also making myself a better doctor, trying to figure out the theory behind what I do, why I do it, how to help best serve people. But it kind of gets lost if I don't really have a roadmap. I just kind of go with, like I see some interesting article about hamstrings and I'm reading up on hamstrings, and then I find a paper cited in there, and then it's this little web of good information, but not necessarily focused. So, the first thing I'm doing, which is kind of like the overarching thing, is trying to focus my time. And number one is probably the time. This is not really a health goal, but it's kind of to support it. Is to like declutter my life like digitally. So I'm working through a book called Digital Minimalism, which is interesting. It's not.
Now, are you reading a physical copy of that
no,
book?
this is the greatest part.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a podcast.
Okay.
It's an ebook. It's very ironic.
Right.
Yeah. And so it's like he's telling me I need to get rid of all apps and stuff. I'm like, well, that takes you out of here. But,
yeah, that's why I was wondering.
but no, I'll get through it, and I've already kind of started. But the whole thing about like regaining the control of my own focus and stuff like that's been good. And so you don't realize you look at your screen time or how many times you pick up your phone, and most people don't like to reflect on that, myself included. So that's number one, is just trying to find the time and then decide what I'm going to do with it. So my number one, honestly, and this is probably pretty. I feel like I've always had a pretty athletic background and been pretty easy to do the physical things, but with almost life picking up on all aspects, I'm probably as least active as I've ever been on a more least consistent on activity. So probably my number one thing for as far as health goals is just to get routine, consistency, and then wherever I end up, if I'm happy with my effort, then I'll end up in a good spot. So just trying to make the effort into the physical stuff there, because right now 22 degrees this morning, it's a lot easier to sit down with a cup of coffee and a book than it is to throw on. I have too much money spent on running clothes that would definitely get me out in this weather, but the effort inside me has been a little bit lax.
So did you run today? No.
Well, he's on this show.
I ran this morning, not outside, but I did run outside yesterday, but I tried real hard to talk myself out of it, and it was beautiful. It was warmer yesterday morning though.
No, and then I've never had. I have enough pictures of me with a big old beard just covered with ice. And it's -2.
See,
there's
no.
really at this point, like it's between the ears. It's not anything else.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. No, that's okay. That's all right.
But yeah, so other than that, we're turned 40 this year. So my goal is we're gonna go to Colorado and like to get some good hikes in. And that's already a disadvantage going up to 10,000 feet. But my goal is to be able to do some fun hikes, take the family, and I assume that I'm gonna have to carry a kid or some point of it. So I need to have a little
or multiple,
multiple
kids. Yeah, as your 4-year-old just gung ho the first couple hundred steps.
We tried to hike last year, and I'm trying to remember the order the complaints went in. I think it was maybe this is boring. Oh, my legs are so tired. But he did great. He loved it. He had fun, and we got to go by streams. He thought that was pretty cool. He actually did really well.
We were just talking. One of our guests last year, Amy Gunn, who lives up in Oregon. She's always just posting pictures of mountains.
She from here?
Yeah, she is.
I know Amy.
She knows you.
She's a chef.
She commented. Yes, she commented on our preview of her show about you too. So she shouted you out. So, yes. Yeah. And so Jeff was like, she's doing what we want to do for our lives, just out there.
Yeah.
Out in nature.
Just all the time. I mean, different trails. And we went to Colorado last June and did a couple hikes, and like, I just thought it was so cool because you get to, like, we hiked up a couple miles to this waterfall. And I thought it was so cool because you can't just drive to the waterfall, like to see it.
Yeah.
You have to earn that.
Yep.
And that's what I thought was so cool, that I was physically able to do that. And I got to stick my feet in this freezing cold water that was coming from the top of Pikes Peak, coming down. So that was pretty cool to me. So yeah, she's out there living her best life, and that's kind of something we wish we were doing on a more consistent basis. But there's really nowhere to hike in flatlands of Lincoln.
It's in my sister lived in Washington, in Seattle for a couple of 3 years, and we went on visit her one time, and we went for a hike with her, and it was like, I don't know, we'll call it 3 miles. I'll get the numbers wrong a little bit, and it was 2,800 feet elevation because as a runner, I'm always wondering, how long is it? What's the elevation change? And then I just wondered how much elevation changes their entire state of Nebraska.
Yeah.
3,100.
It's bad. I remember looking
it was
up.
like almost all of that hike was in 3 miles. So you take care of
the whole elevation. Yeah. I think I remember looking up similar stuff when we were going to go. So we were supposed to climb Pikes Peak on that trip, but there was too much snow. So we didn't end up being able to do that. But I remember looking up lots of stuff about that just to be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Did you guys do the Manitou Incline?
We did. Yes. Yeah. That was awesome.
That's a hidden gem.
Yeah. I just wish we could go there more just to do that again, just to see your improvement, just we kind of took our time when we went, just because we'd never done it before, and stopped a couple times and enjoyed the views as we went. But I'd kind of like to be those people, like challenging yourself.
Did you see like a guy in like 1-inch split shorts running down
in
them?
Practically underwear?
Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, not only are you
right
just
as we started.
Not only are you brave, but if you go down, you have no protection. They're just like barreling down, and I'm like,
I don't know how they run down.
I was
going up. I mean, I didn't think it was really that hard. It was hard, but it wasn't like, I didn't think it was really.
We recovered pretty quickly if you stopped to just catch your breath.
For me, it was like turning around. When I looked back, I'm kind of a fear of heights person. Like I really wasn't until we went to Cedar Point, went on the power tower, and we were just up 300 feet. And I'm like, now I kind of like get the willies a little bit. If I'm from heights,
there's some times on that incline that you get the willies.
You look back, and I'm like, if I fall backwards, I'm just dead.
Slinky,
I don't think
human
so.
slinky.
Yeah.
So that, like, other than that, it was really cool, like the views and stuff like that. We really wanted to do Pikes Peak, but there was like 2 feet of snow, and we just, or like 4 more than that. We just
waist height snow.
Waist height.
Yeah. I've done 114er, and we had to post hole for just 30 yards sneaking through, and it was
for 30 yards.
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, 30 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, this would have been
a lot
so much
of
farther.
post holing.
Yes, we do have a text from Swift from Lincoln. Just going to read this and then we can answer this. Just tuning in as a recent college graduate, I find it tougher staying active on a consistent basis. Any advice for getting into a routine or how you recommend getting started? Nicole?
What's Dr. Adam?
There we go. The expert.
Right. What's our guest think?
I think
that's looking into getting himself into a better routine.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love running. Not everybody loves running, and that's cool. I think the first thing is you kind of have to know what kind of activity you like. I don't care if it's running or weightlifting, CrossFit, jazzercise, step class, barrels. It doesn't matter to me. It's just you have to be invested in it. And so some people, that's like time alone and solitude. That's me as running in my mind. Some people need the group efforts, and that's what keeps them going. I mean, there's a big part of being so that honestly is what started CrossFit, right? So CrossFit has, I just heard a stat the other day, they have for every 2 Starbucks, there's 1 CrossFit.
Wow,
pretty
that's
wild.
surprising.
At least there wasn't that heyday of it. But they were built off of like community is essentially what it was, right? So I think one is like find out what motivates you both activity wise and if it's social or solitude. And I think that's probably honestly more important than what activity it is, because I have a lot of people that I run with that I'm pretty sure would never have ran if it wasn't with a group.
Right. Right.
And then I think you have to go back and carve out intentional time, and where it's just non-negotiable. This is what you do. It's not like, hey, if I wake up on Tuesday morning at 5 o'clock, if I feel like running, I'm gonna go for a run. It's like, no, at Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, at 6 a.m. I run, and I blocked out 15 or 30 minutes. And usually once you get in a routine of 3 or 4 weeks, you're feeling the effects. I mean, it's real. It's chemical. It's in your brain as well as physical. So it's if you can get in that routine like for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like it's usually not hard. But I will say the first step is hard. So I always think that like create yourself a manageable, measurable goal and go from there. I think just trying stuff out is not bad either. And I think that committing to something is courageous, and there's some value in that. But I also think that if you don't know if you like it or not, then it's committing, to run the Lincoln Marathon when you're on the couch right now is probably not a good thing. But if you can find something that you enjoy with people or community that's positive and supportive, I think it's a pretty darn good place to start.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you have to be realistic with your time and schedule too. That's an important part of it. Where as a college student, you probably, if you have a class at 8 a.m. every day or whatever, probably it's not realistic for you to join a place that has classes that clash with your schedule, if you're doing the group fitness type thing. So I think that's looking at your schedule, being realistic with what you can accomplish during that time, even if it's like you said, 10, 15 minutes, start small. So every day at this time, because I know it'll work for me, create some intentional time for movement. And maybe you're figuring that out as you go, what you like. It could be walking, it could be running. There's so many free resources online now where you could just do like a yoga flow for 10 minutes. So you just kind of have to carve that time out first, though, like you said, make it a habit. And then once you've established that habit, okay, this is my time for activity and movement, then you can really start branching out and finding what you like doing. But I think finding that time first is probably the most important. That's what we see as a barrier with our members sometimes, where they sign up and they have intentions to do it, but then they're not actually doing anything to commit to being there at that time. So I'm going to work out at 5 a.m., but the night before, they're still going to bed at midnight, at 1. So you got to work yourself backwards a little bit. You kind of have to make sure that what you're committing to is realistic for your life at that time, because your time commitments now at almost 40 with 2 kids, totally different than your time commitments
5 years ago,
5, 10, 15 years ago.
No doubt.
Yeah. You didn't have to get up and look at the weather at 6 a.m. and be like, "Ooh, I'm going to have to get this run in. It's 21 degrees outside," because you could just go run at 2 p.m. if you wanted to. Right. Yeah. So what you did 10 years ago is not going to serve you necessarily with what you did or want to do now. You got to be realistic with that.
Yeah. And along those lines, I have done some run walks, and this has come from somebody who used to run, 65 miles a week, and getting back into it. I'm not who I was in 2016 running 50 miles. I'm doing a run walk for 2 miles. And I mean, that's a mental marathon in itself to be okay with that and realize, you're not who you were yesterday. You're not who you were 2 years ago, but, in 3 weeks, you could be somebody different too. So, for me, it was a lot of that was like, it's not worth going out for 2 miles. It's like, well, you got to go somewhere, Adam.
Yeah,
like,
start somewhere.
If 2 miles is the time and the energy and the fitness you have right now, that's where you are. And you got here over months and years.
That's true.
You'll get back to where you were over months and years.
That's what I used to be like in my height of marathon training. I'm like,
I feel like you're still that way.
I'm not going out.
It's not worth my time.
It's not worth my time if it's less than 3 miles. I don't even get out and do it.
But you are not in a place to just go whip out 3 miles either.
But I probably would.
Yes, you did. You would have.
That's fine in sports chiropractic.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, well, absolutely.
That is maybe the biggest barrier I think in this time of the year too, is like people just go gung ho. They're so engaged in this that sometimes they go too hard. I always tell patients I'd rather have you like prove yourself up and fail yourself down.
Yes. Yep.
You don't know if this first time that you do this, like the first week going too hard may not bite you in the butt till you're 3 weeks in. So you just got to build up. That's the way everything in life works. So.
That's going to be one of our big topics of conversation here at the top of the hour is easing your way into it.
Yeah.
And
which is great for the text question too.
Yep.
Carve out the time first, start small and build in, find what you like doing, and then just build from there.
Even if it's just walking for 5 minutes, like just walking's free. You just get out and walk around the block. And as you feel more energy and also nutrition, just kind of being more aware of what you're eating and, those types of things. So, All right. We're going to throw it to break here. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Problem gambling is not just a financial issue. It's an emotional problem with financial consequences. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
If Ewers throws that ball to the front pylon, Texas might have tied that game up and had a chance to win it.
That moment right there, it's one of those moments that every young man dreams about. There's two outcomes in that moment. You're a gamer or you tense up.
You're a gamer, you're a goner.
Or you're a goner.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Rick Heyman from Sartor Heyman Jewelers, inviting you to our new outlet jewelry store at 12th and O in downtown Lincoln. Amazingly, we still have fabulous items we bought 1 year ago and beyond. Well, you know what an outlet store is. Unbeatable prices throughout the store. Closeouts up to 70% off. Don't delay. When it's gone, it's gone. You won't see everything on our website, so you gotta come in. The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Opening November 25th in Lincoln at 12th and O.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
John Henry's would like to remind you, if you haven't already, to unhook your outdoor hoses and check faucets for leaks so your pipes don't freeze. As the official plumber of the Huskers, you know who to call when a plumbing issue arises. From frozen pipes to clogged drains, we can help you protect your home this winter. Give John Henry's a call today to schedule at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934. 8934. HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Doren. God bless you.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. Got a short, quick segment for you. We do have a text from the OG CJ, one of our former members at Farrell's.
Yep.
Text in says, when I started working out again after my back surgery, I was at 30% of where I was, barely at 50% of where I was, but definitely easing into it so I don't injure myself again.
It's gonna be I think that's sometimes the hardest part. We see that with our members. I'm sure, Dr. Adam, you see this too. A lot of times it's people who have been athletic, former athletes in their many years ago lives. And then they think, okay, this is it. I'm going to get back into the routine. Just like you had said about running, you want to think that you can just go run 5 miles. I'm going to start off at 2, but it is really hard mentally to do that. But it's definitely something you need to do just to prevent injuries. I'm sure you see that a lot.
Yeah, especially coming back from an injury, that's a whole kind of separate thing, right? Like, one, there's the injury itself. There's the brain side of things, which is going to protect you. And back surgery, I mean, I always tell people, that your brain and your spinal cord are housed in bony, vaults for a reason. It's protective. So if you threaten it, your body will pay attention to it. And there's physical and psychological and emotional symptoms about that. So getting back into it, making sure you're doing it right, and there's that concern too. But then there's also the purely physiological body part of it, which is like, hey, you cut through muscle, you cut through bone, you got stuff like you got to come back from there. But it comes back to, is like, most of the time those back surgeries don't come from sudden injuries. I mean, they do sometimes, but most of the people that I see, it's usually a long-term overtime type of thing. And
I know for sure, because especially with CJ, he was struggling with back issues for a long time before he finally had surgery. But it is something that you don't want to do lightly either. You kind of have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a reason he got that, him or anybody else gets there. Right. And so you got to realize that if you don't want to end up in that same spot again, you got to kind of figure out the why behind it. And that is my passion in health, is like, why are people moving the way they are? Why are they hurting the way they are and stuff like that? So, I mean, if you take your time, your body can do a lot of amazing things. But if you go fast, essentially, like, your body is silly putty. If you move fast and hard, it either doesn't change enough and just bounces right back, or it tears,
or it breaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you go slow, it stretches, it moves, it gets stronger. That goes for tissues, that goes for brain, it goes for the neuron synapses up in your brain. So, yeah, I mean, good on him. That's one of the hardest patients to get back active, are back surgery patients. So that's a huge deal for him. So hats off to CJ.
Yep. Just start slow. Listen to your body. I think that's the biggest thing, because it's trying to tell you what's going on.
Yep.
We just try to cram it in there, and it's not quite ready yet. So that's important.
All right. Well, we're going to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get more into starting off fresh for the new year, how to prevent injury prevention and that type of thing with Dr. Adam. So we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, the Fitness Fanatics.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring, If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
This is Rick Heyman from Sartor Heyman Jewelers, inviting you to our new outlet jewelry store at 12th and O in downtown Lincoln. Amazingly, we still have fabulous items we bought 1 year ago and beyond. Well, you know what an outlet store is. Unbeatable prices throughout the store. Closeouts up to 70% off. Don't delay. When it's gone, it's gone. You won't see everything on our website, so you gotta come in. The Outlet by Sartor Heyman, where luxury and affordability meet. Opening November 25th in Lincoln at 12th and O.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through January 9th is spend $40 and you'll get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3, and $1.50 off all KC Canning Company products. Plus, don't forget there are 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
I used to be a weight guy. I used to love weight.
You've never been a weight guy. That's a lie.
Let me tell you something.
You've never been a weight guy.
I was in a 300-pound club
No,
in
sir.
high school.
Yes.
No,
No, sir. Are you kidding
yes.
me? That 315 pounds would have sent him through the. It'd have been 6 feet
Bob.
under trying to figure out how to get up out that hole.
That's how big
you
I-
ain't never been nowhere near that platform to get up there for lifter of the year. You.
I don't want to be lifter of the year. I
So
want to be
how
the
in
player of the year. You want to be a lifter of the year when you want to be the player of the year. Nobody care about weights.
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome back into the show. If you missed any part of the first hour, you can check us out on all the podcasting platforms or theticketfm.com. We are joined in studio by Dr. Adam. That's what he goes by.
Yep.
Sometimes I have to try to even remember what your last name is.
Don't even try.
Yeah, Dr. Adam at Spine and Sport Chiropractic
Spine and sports.
Spine and sports. Hey, you know what?
Sports.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The number of things we've been called over the years. It's not offensive.
It's a singular and then a whatever the other one is.
One spine,
Right.
multiple sports.
Yeah, one spine, multiple sports.
Oh, that's what
Spine
that
and
means.
sports. Mm-hmm.
It's the first time I'm learning about
I
this.
figured that out on my way here today. That's how I figured it out in my head. It's the singular and
One
plural.
spine.
Singular first, plural second.
Okay.
So now no one will ever get it wrong because
No, I remember
here
that.
it is first.
One spine,
and
multiple sports. The reason we like to have him on is because he's actually saved Nicole from
Mhm.
having back surgery.
Yes.
Yep. It's been a couple of years now where
Mhm.
you went and had MRIs and all this stuff done, and as gym owners, this is our livelihood.
Mhm.
Like we just it's just not an option for you or me to be out for.
Well, it would be. It would have
Well,
been an option if it had to be.
yes.
Definitely don't want to say that surgery is not an option. But then I went to see Dr. Adam and he was like, no, we can do this. It's going to take a while, but
Mhm.
we can work through this. And so I opted to do that instead of taking a chance with back surgery at 41, I think I was at the time, and just wanting to see if there was something I could do to fix it myself,
Mhm.
but not myself because I needed help. So yeah.
And voila, no back surgery.
Yeah, no
right?
back surgery.
Your
It took
back's-
a long time.
It did,
But
yeah.
that's mostly my own fault because I can't just not do a lot
Right.
of things. So
That's the
right.
Life
Stone
still
X.
goes on.
Yeah.
Life goes
like
on.
Dr. Adam says, it'll be like 6 to 8 weeks. It was more like 6 to 8 months, but that's also my fault. Like I recognize that.
You never
There's-
see me all the time.
No, not at all. That's my favorite. One of my favorite things about you because you're just like, okay, this is what you do. Go do it.
Yeah.
Yes, and when
come
I-
back if it's not working, or
And when
you know.
when we refer people to you, because we do, if anybody in the gym is help my back or anything, I'm like, have you had it looked at?
Mhm.
No. Okay, here is my recommendation.
Yeah.
So, and when you hear chiropractor, it's all old school thinking of like, okay, I'm gonna have to go because Nicole used to work for a chiropractor long time ago.
Yep.
I mean, 20
Like
some years ago.
One of my first big girl jobs.
Yeah, yes, big
Mhm.
girl job. Yes. And it was like, okay, you need to come 4 days a week for the next 3 months. Well, some people can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
Especially if I know way back then, like insurance for chiro,
Yeah.
it really wasn't available all that much. So it was like, that's kind of people's
Concept.
preconceived notion
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you hear chiropractor. So then I'm like, no, this is way different. Like
Mhm.
there's been things that I've gone to see him for one time, and that was it.
And yet you still are here with that nagging elbow injury that you still have not gone to see him one time for.
No,
I know.
procrastination.
I know. But yes, it's definitely a different approach. And so do you want to talk about that a little bit? Kind of how you approach your practice?
Yeah, sure. So, I was take it too far back, but I was halfway through school, and which is another way of saying I had a lot of money in debt there. And I wasn't really happy because they were just telling us like, hey, you're gonna treat 800 people eventually, and then you'll just see them once a month for the rest of your life. You'll make as much money as you want to. And that's never been my thing. Money's never been the driving factor for me. So being a positive influence, changing people's life, getting them back to what they want. I like to call it physical autonomy. Do what you want to do when you want to do it. And so you start to realize that, like, anything that somebody does to your body, whether it's surgery, they adjust your back, you get a massage, you could insert in anything there. And this goes along with foam rollers and massage guns and all that stuff too,
Mhm.
is like, it doesn't change how you use your body. And so if you sit in a desk all day, body's gonna be better at sitting in a desk. And if that's different than running, which, spoiler alert, but it's very different.
Mhm.
You're not going to be as good as running. So the sitting in desk is what's the dangerous part. You do it for 8 hours a day. If you might go for a long run for even a marathon training person, probably 3 hours. And so, but you'll gladly sit in desk for 7 or 8 hours. One of the guys that I really enjoy the way he thinks always says you're 90% water and 10% stuff. which is true. We're mostly water and versions of water. So, you put water in a round shape jar, it changes to round, square changes to square. So, eventually it pulls all the other stuff with it and we create shapes with our body that are, either good at running, good at sitting, or good at whatever. I mean, if you've ever been watching the Olympics, you'll see that everybody's body is very, very similar in the high jump, and they're very, very different than power lifters, the weightlifters and stuff like that. So our bodies adapt amazingly. It's incredible.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've all heard the stories, right? On either end of that. But we have to try to figure out, my whole job is like, how are you moving? What are your movement capabilities? And how do we change that so we unload it? So if your hips are really stiff, you're going to use your back more because you still have to complete the tasks. You still got to bend over the crib and pick up the baby. You still got to do dishes, or you have to outsource that to your husband, which I've heard is the case in this room. But that's
actually not true because Jeff did the dishes
I
before
think her
too.
back started hurting like 24
It
years
was
ago.
well, that's true. That is true, but that's not why I did stop doing the
Oh,
dishes.
okay.
But in all fairness, Jeff did do the dishes for the majority of the time. But I did take up doing the dishes during COVID because it was just a good mindless thing to do. And that might have been where some of the problems started, was just that repetitive motion. But anyway, hey, I did the dishes last night for the record. So let's just move on from the dishes conversation.
No, it's okay.
So basically, my whole approach is assess to see, what's important to the person, and then figure out, how are they moving and how we change that. And so, I do hands-on treatment. I work on muscles. I adjust joints, and that kind of opens the door for things. But nothing I do is going to change the way you use your body. I can, I mean, if you come in 3 days a week, which I almost never ask anybody to do that unless it's super acute, they're basically not even be able to go to work or function. Even if I work on you 3 days a week, it's a half an hour, 45 minutes. It's not going to change the fact that you bend over using only your back. You'll end up in the same spot. So, if I could do people's exercises for them, I would have a line out the door, and I'd be busy. But I think the most powerful thing I have is like the understanding of how movement occurs, what each individual needs. Nobody gets any. I don't do long-term treatment plans. I don't do cookie cutter plans. I don't have a drawer full of printouts of exercises. I have a library in my head, and I can change them a lot to meet somebody where they're at, whether they're inactive or they're very active, they're super well trained, or they're just getting into it. My goal is to meet patients where they're at and improve movement, and therefore improve pain, because chasing pain doesn't work. That's been pretty well documented.
Yep.
So what's some good advice? So we at Farrell's, we have 90 new people starting day one of the 10-week challenge tomorrow. We did 2 minutes of exercise yesterday. Did a minute of push-ups and a minute of sit-ups, and they're probably all going to be. They're probably all sore right now. So if they're listening,
I would be sore.
chest is going to be sore.
Right. There's that
Your abs are sore.
adrenaline. We get together. Everyone does. It's a benchmark testing.
Yes.
We do it again in 5 weeks and 10 weeks so people can see their improvement. But if we all right now, we're like, okay, everybody, we're going to do 1 minute of push-ups, ready, go. We'd all be sore tomorrow because you have that adrenaline that overrides kind of your ability.
23 and I was sore.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening and you're sore, don't feel bad.
Right.
23-year-old was feeling
Because
bad.
there's never a normal time in your life where you're just like, how many push-ups can you do in 1 minute? Go. So, and a lot of people couldn't do push-ups for 1 whole minute either, which is totally fine and normal too. Look at them. That's what I tell people too. Like, the worse you do, look at the room for improvement that you have. We also measure flexibility. We do a sit and reach test. And so sometimes people get really self-conscious when they can barely touch the box or barely move it. Right. I'm like, look at all this room for improvement you have. I feel worse for people who are flexible. We had one gal that just maxed out the sit and reach. And she's just probably been flexible her whole life. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks for you because there's not a lot you can do with that. You're already there.
And I kind of improvement for her might be less flexible. She has
I agree
too.
I know. I tell people that all the
to-
time because you, Dr. Adam, have told me that I have detrimentally flexible hamstrings. And so sometimes I have to limit my hamstring range of motion because I know that's going to help. That's going to cause imbalances if I let that keep going. So I do tell people that too sometimes. Like, flexibility is always not a great thing. Sometimes it can cause you to have imbalances that
Well,
cause
we've
problems.
learned our daughter has my hamstrings,
She has no flexibility.
which are unflexible.
Yeah, she's 20 and she can barely touch that box.
We were all just the other day we were all standing up in the living room like, okay, who could touch their toes? And we're all just bending over. Ben bends over, he can touch his toes, and Katie and I are just like, no,
And
we
I can
just
touch
can't.
my hands flat on the ground.
We just can't do it.
Right.
We're
Well,
almost there.
true story. Probably when I first moved here, and my New Year's resolution that year was to run the Lincoln Marathon and to touch my toes. I was, probably 7 or 8 inches away from my toes. And that year, 26 miles is easier to move than 6 inches.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, that's
But that kind of goes along with what you said too, though, Dr. Adam, about how you don't do cookie cutter, treatment plans for people because everybody's different. Like the reality is, a lot of my being able to touch the ground is not necessarily my flexibility. It's the fact that I have short limbs and a long torso. So, and other people have really long limbs
Like
and a
me.
shorter
That's
torso.
me, long
right.
limbs.
Yeah. So, like, you kind of can't apply cookie cutter treatments to people because we're all so different. And so, I like that your approach to that because you don't just say, okay, oh, this is your problem. You don't have like this flow chart where like boop, boop. This is what you do. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
But what would your advice be kind of for those newbies that are sore from their 2 minutes of exercise?
Well,
they
or
did
just
yesterday?
like starting in general.
Or yeah,
like
you
basically
started
like
too hard. You went out too hard out
yes,
the
why
gate.
not to overdo it?
Yeah.
And not just the ferals, but anything that anybody decided to start it here at the new year.
Yeah, so there's like the overtraining versus the under recovered. So, they go hand in hand. So, one of the I forgot the influential person's name. They basically said that how in shape you are is the heaviest workout you can recover from. So, one, I'd prioritize recovery. So, nutrition, sleep, and abstaining from alcohol, smoking, drugs in general is like the number one through number 10 things to help you recover. And that takes and why I say that because like that takes care of like 90% of recovery things out there. So Theragun, massage, foam roller, there's people do all sorts of crazy stuff and spend a lot of money on recovery. You can take care of 90% of that if you just sleep well, eat well, and don't do bad things to your body. Okay. So there's the total load on your body. So you decrease that outside load that's negative, and realize that a negative and a positive load both affect your body. Then they tend to increase the need for recovery. But you should get rid of the bad stuff. I don't think I should have to say that, but understand your body has to deal with all that stuff.
That's
inflammation.
really important for you to say though, because we try to explain that to people, being in the fitness industry, and we do encourage people to follow kind of a really balanced nutrition program with ferals. And it is really important for people to understand that how connected that sleep and your nutrition is. Like it's huge. Like you are keep holding yourself back from a ton of your potential if you're only thinking, okay, I already know I drink way too much coffee. I already know that I don't eat enough food. I don't pay attention to what I'm eating. I might go all day without eating and then overdo it at night. I already know I do all this stuff. But if I do all that and then add 45 minutes of exercise, I should see amazing results because I'm going from, no exercise to 45 minutes of exercise. And that's sometimes our biggest obstacle is like really trying to show people that you are just leaving a lot on the table if you think that they're not connected and that nutrition isn't a huge part. Being hydrated, making sure you're getting fiber and protein and carbs to help fuel your body and recover. So I think it's really important that you kind of bring that up and you see the value in that too.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean that's foundational. I mean, if you're sore today, go for a walk. Active recovery is the name of the game. If it's a thing that moves, muscle, tendon, ligament, nerve, bone, joint, cartilage, all that stuff, it just needs to move to be healthy. So go for a walk. Not saying fast, not saying far. Go as far as you want, but walks in general are it's almost one of the perfect exercises. We just probably most of us can't fit enough in our life to get meaningful use out of it as far as fitness concerns go. But as far as recovery things go, you could go do yoga flow and or do whatever you want to do if you need more organized stuff. But just going for a walk would probably suffice for most people. Don't sit on the couch because you're sore. Be active.
Movement is so important. Yeah. Because I think that's what's going to happen here in the next couple of weeks with our members. And it's hard because we're trying to encourage them to get into a really good routine. The Farrell's program, it is 6 days a week of exercise, but we have it balanced in a way that it's, kickboxing 3 days a week, and we alternate that. So Monday will be kickboxing, Tuesday will be lower body, and then we do kickboxing again on Wednesday, Friday, Thursday we do upper body. So it's really balanced. And sometimes people think like, oh my gosh, I'm too sore from this lower body workout. And that might keep them from coming on Thursday, but Thursday's upper body workout. So I think maybe you kind of see this too, where it's that all or nothing and people do too much and then they do nothing. But what we try to encourage our members is to just keep showing up. We want to keep that routine. You want to get into that routine, but maybe today, because you're sore, that workout's going to look a little bit different for you. But just because, one thing is tight, the movement is the best thing that you can do for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So create that routine and
get blood flow, get warmed up. And then, joints that don't have blood inside of the joints, then you need that pumping action of the joints to get the bad stuff out and good stuff in. So,
So try to stay consistent, but listen to your body at the same time.
yeah. And that's where I say, I always tell people, do less than you think you can do to start with and go from there.
Yeah.
See where you're at in 3 or 4 weeks. The first 9 weeks of any program is neurological as far as like most strength recruitment goes. So, you will get muscle fiber changes, but a lot of it will be brain being able to use your body better.
I'm going to snap that. We're going to cut that, and I'm going to share it right to our members.
Well, kind of a
do less than, what did you say?
do
less than you
think
you need to do to start, especially. Yeah.
So
100%.
kind of elaborate on that, because I feel like we really need to drill this into everybody's heads as to why it's important not to go 100 miles per hour when you haven't worked out for 6 months, a year, or maybe ever.
Well, and what we see is, it's group fitness. So when I teach a class, I'm the instructor, and I'm directly telling people, don't go too heavy on this exercise. There's some exercises that we do, like a reverse fly exercise that's working a small muscle in your shoulders that honestly, you probably should never go too heavy on that, because it's not an exercise that you're building power. It's not a power move. It's not a power lift. It's a stability lift, And as the instructor, I am instructing and modeling going at a lower resistance because of the workout, the exercise that we're doing, the muscle that we're working. But then you still see people thinking that no, heavier is better. And that's in a group fitness environment. So I can only imagine what's happening when people are just starting out on their own and thinking, I did this, I used to weightlift in college, and, they're in their 30s and 40s now. And then they're trying to pick up where they left off 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And how many shows do you see? Like, the show Perfect Strangers came into my mind. I don't know if you've ever seen Perfect Strangers. This is
Come on, Dr. Adam, you've seen Perfect Strangers.
No, I don't watch much.
This was back from a long time ago. It was the the cousins. What was the cousin's name? Cousin Larry. And then Balky was from some.
Well, this is just an example. But we've all seen shows where people go overdo it.
It was an old show.
They're going to go work out for the first time. And they just went. So they had dates. They had
right.
They had
walking.
dates.
Yeah.
Right. They had dates that night. So they wanted to go to the gym and really just get pumped up.
That's the perfect time.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you don't brush your teeth and you go to the dentist and you're going to scrub for like an hour
and floss
to try to get rid of the cavities.
Right. Immediately. Yeah.
So I was just thinking of that because it's funny because they were just they were just going at it with weights and everything. And then when it came time for their dates, they could barely move.
Yeah.
So they were just like kind of walking.
I think they were literally out.
Yeah, they were trying
with every move.
When the ladies weren't looking, they were just kind of waddling, could barely move. So yeah, that's just why it came into my brain.
Yeah, it's on a TV show because we've all been there. We've all done it. So yeah, so kind of
elaborate a little bit more
on the
that.
Do less than you think.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you start doing the most you can do, there's like same things you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
That's, first of all, like you're gonna hurt yourself so bad. Like you can give yourself like that. So delayed onset muscle soreness is that soreness, right? So
that's the 2 days later soreness that you feel from.
Yeah. So people like to blame lactic acid. Let's sweep that out the door. That's been disproven. It's gone in 90 seconds, and it's actually kind of helpful.
I didn't know that, but yeah, interesting.
So it'll be burnt. That little burn you get when you're really pushing a lift, whatever. That's lactic acid. But delayed onset muscle soreness is a little bit of torn muscle fibers. Your body has to figure out how to solve that and regenerate that. So if you overload it, it causes change. And this goes for everything. You can, there's the studies where people will stretch. This is actually a horrible study. They stretch people for at a 6 out of 10 pain for an hour, and they get muscle hypertrophy. So
right,
you go to Farrell's, or you could just
stretch just try to touch your toes for an hour.
Yeah.
Just sit there.
But you have to be able to recover to do that. If you keep tearing faster than you build back up, I don't think it takes a doctor to figure that out, right?
No, but sometimes we just need to hear it over and over and over again.
Yeah,
to remind ourselves.
So I'd also say is when you do go heavy, you recruit bigger muscles, more muscle motor units. You have less control over that, and so you have the whole form issue coming into it. And when you get bad form, that's when people get hurt. I mean, if you've seen somebody that can't squat, it hurts you only slightly less than it hurts them.
We need to clip that too.
Yeah. Yep.
Bad form.
Right. Yeah.
So like heavyweight. I mean, listen. No amazing feat of physical strength or physical activity has ever happened with good form. We'll put that out there, right? No PR, no max is perfect form.
Yeah.
That's not what we're going for on a daily basis, right? So
on day one,
so
by any means.
Week 10, doing push-ups, and you're struggling and you're all over the place. Cool. That's great. We've all been there, and that's not a bad thing once in a while. It should not be a daily thing. It should not be part of your normal workout routine.
Yeah, we're not every day trying to make people do as many push-ups as they can do. We do them at the beginning and at 5 weeks and 10 weeks. Now, are there push-ups happening in between those 1 minute? Oh, yes, we will probably do some push-ups on Monday, but it's not how many can you do? We're timing you. Someone's counting, like go. It's definitely go at your own pace, see what you can do, kind of build from there.
There's a lot more from exercise than just maxing out every single time. And you really shouldn't fail at every rep. Every exercise, you shouldn't have a failure rep in the middle of a training cycle. No professional, no elite athlete would ever train that way. But you will have you won't be able to come back fast enough to have the chronic adaptations you need. There's a whole there's you can get into all sorts of things, but there's equations that are like chronic versus acute workload, and you get above a certain amount and you get
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Yep. Well, and like you had said, because at with our program at Farrell's, the way that our programming is for our strength training, the first couple weeks are definitely very foundational. And so I think that kind of goes where you're talking about, going too heavy and having bad form, and you're recruiting the big muscles, but the smaller muscles and the joints and the tendons aren't quite ready for that load yet. So like we try to encourage we tell our new members for the first couple weeks, because of the programming of strength trainings, we use resistance bands, and that is to help build up all those stabilizers, the ligaments, the tendons. So then when we get into the further along weeks and we start using dumbbells and we start using heavier resistance, then those are ready, and then the big muscles can actually start to do the work. But that doesn't happen overnight, right?
No. If you want sustainable physical health is a long-term goal and a long-range plan. So hitting it hard for 2 weeks, 2 months, even 2 years now is not going to last. Even, you go down the road 6 months after you quit, after 2 years of consistent exercise, yes, you'll be more fit, but it will be waning. So the goal would be that you can stay healthy and continue on the track. But if you overload things chronically, you will eventually get hurt.
Yeah, for no reason.
May have done that.
I think we all have. I don't know who has an exercise that hasn't at some point, whether they're ready to admit it or not.
Remember that one time I went out and just did a half marathon when I was only supposed to do like 6 miles?
Yeah, I had to send the neighbors out to go find you because I thought you were dead somewhere.
This was pre
Dr. Adam.
Me.
Yeah.
This was pre finding me on a
couldn't find you on a phone.
I just went and did it. I'm like,
you know what? Partly my fault. I was hounding you because you weren't training properly for a marathon. And shocker, this wasn't just this past year. This was many, many years ago. So this is something that you do chronically. Yes. Yep. You're supposed to do 6 miles. And I'm like, Jeff, you're supposed to be at 12 miles by right now. And then you just decided to be a jerk and go run 12 miles. And I had to send Todd out on a bike to try to find you.
Oh, I kind of love that.
And I did it.
I love that.
I know.
I love that.
Yep.
I'll show her.
So
Right.
we can relate
I
we
know.
can relate to everybody because we've done everything and
Yes,
tried and been.
just like
Right.
you've hurt yourself. You know
Oh yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah. It's you can the rules don't apply to you until you realize that they're a foundational rule. They apply to you.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to experience it yourself. So
that
we're
is
here to tell you.
right. That's what I
Promise
say
it.
to our members. We'll go to break 'cause it's time, but at every orientation, I have this spiel that I give where I tell people they're not special. Like, and that's mostly because people we let our fears hold us back, and we start to think that like what we're afraid of is why we can't do something. And then I'm encouraging them to tell them like what you think is holding you back doesn't make you special. It makes you totally normal. That's the same thing with you and us. Like we know what we should not be doing, and sometimes we still do it, and that does not make us special. That makes us human beings, totally normal. We all have the
Same
knowledge
with
and we do it.
everything. Like we know what we shouldn't eat, but we do it anyway.
Sometimes, yeah. Yep.
So,
Sometimes you're like, yep, I'm gonna suffer from that for this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I don't care. I'm
Doesn't
gonna eat
make us
this pizza
special.
today, and I don't care what anybody says.
Makes us normal.
Yes.
All right, let's go to break.
All right, we'll be right back on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Start 2024 off on a high note by loading up on meat and more at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through January 9th is spend $40 and you'll get a free 14-ounce ribeye, limit of 3, and $1.50 off all KC Canning Company products. Plus, don't forget there are 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's Cheese Spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's Cheese Spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's Cheese Spread today at your local grocery store.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Lane's Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers, and if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Don't allow uninvited guests to take over your home. Trust Bats to Rats for a peaceful and rodent-free living space.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We are joined in studio by Dr. Adam from Spine and Sports Chiropractic.
Good job.
All right, Nicole, you had a subject you wanted to touch on this segment, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we were kind of talking about this off air and on air for those of you who didn't understand the dishwasher reference. So when I injured my back, and my injury was not something that happened one time. It was definitely a long time coming before I even addressed it. So I know that it was something, it's not something that one thing happened and I was like, oh, my back hurts. I look back on videos of me exercising, like, 'cause we record our virtual workouts, and I look back on those and I can see myself overcompensating like months before I actually sought treatment. So I'm like, look, I didn't even think I was injured at that time. When I see myself move, I was like, I was definitely injured and making changes, kind of overcompensating. But during that time, I realized there was a lot of things that I was doing in my everyday life that were repetitive motions that were like making that worse. I can't say that word, the exacerbating. Yes, the pain. Yeah, I know that was a tricky one. And it wasn't necessarily what I was doing in the gym. So what I did, my gym workouts, through like your suggestions, I modified a lot of stuff. So, we have our resistance bands, our resistance is on the ground. I had to elevate those so I wasn't constantly bending down, repetitively bending down to pick up, just even on upper body workouts and stuff like that. So I had to elevate that. So I wasn't doing that. And that's where the dishes came in. So a lot of times we think that the exercise that we're doing is what's causing our back pain. But a lot of times it's that repetitive motion that's making it worse or keeping you from being healed. And that's what dishes were for me. It was that constant bending down, standing up, bending down. I'm sure I just didn't have the core strength. I wasn't working the right muscles, a lot of imbalances in my hips and glutes and stuff. So kind of talk about some of the more common injuries that you see and some of those repetitive daily motions that kind of contribute to that people can keep an eye out for.
Yeah. So I think probably the most common is low back pain. And I don't know if that's what you see in your gym. Somebody's going to get hurt there.
Oh, yeah.
But so usually what it comes down to is the human body can only move so many ways, only has so many options. And we tend to tighten up in general. I literally have never had anybody come in and be like, hey doc, like I'm having a lot of pain. I'm so flexible right now.
Yeah.
That like, this is the problem.
Right.
Can you tighten me back up?
Yeah.
Even
Even with my detrimentally flexible hamstrings, that's causing problems other places.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
Yes.
they're it's also touching your toes is the hamstrings, it's the hips, it's
Right.
the low back, they all contribute.
Yes.
If one thing stiffens up, your body makes up for it.
Mhm.
The problem usually ends up being the long-term problem. The bigger problem is what moves too much. So
Yes.
the low back is just another example of how the body works throughout the body. So I think I'll talk about the low back, and you can insert any joint in this or any part of the body. But the low back has discs, which we've all heard about, and there's water in them. There's like literally, I always picture a little jelly donut because it's more fun than like an actual spine.
Mhm.
And so when you bend, if that jelly moves around, if you do it enough, then you will start to cause problems, and you start to rip that jelly through the outside of the donut, and that's where people end up a lot of times. You hear of discs or pain down the leg or sciatica or bulge disc herniations.
It's messy.
Yeah,
It's messy.
it's not good. But literally almost every single person there has some sort of restriction in their pelvis and their hips. So when they go to bend forward, they don't bend through their hips. They don't do deadlift type motion. Lift with your legs, not with your back. They lift their back.
I think one of the times you called it, like if I am picking something up, you said it was you referenced golfers, like the way that golfers pick up
Yeah.
their tee. Was that what you
Yeah,
called
the
that?
golf ball pickup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of referenced that. We do hen pecks. That's what that is. Kind of
Yeah.
that single leg. You keep you keep your legs straight as you bend down. So I thought that was a good visual when you said that.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's like you're bending your pelvis is tipping forward on your hip. You're just not
Mhm.
your spine tipping forward on your pelvis. But
Mhm.
if you do that enough times, if you bend forward in your life, I mean, like if you sit there and actually think about what, like, we'll call it like spine flexion when it rounds. Like you do it when you sit and slouch. You do it when you go to pick up your pencil. You go to when you put on your shoes, socks, underwear, anything where you're bending forward. If your strategy is to go through your spine, then you'll do it every time.
Mhm.
So it's people blame the exercise because they're probably fatiguing out. The classic is it's towards the end of a rep or whatever, because they're fatigued out and their muscles can't hold up anymore. But in reality, they've done 25,000 reps in the past 2 years of doing that under a low weight, and they just have to be under more load now. And this is a failure point
Mhm.
because if you drop the pencil down in front of you, you're not going to think about how you're picking up. You're going to pick it up. Um, People tend to blow it out more like that, picking up a kid out of a crib,
Mhm.
picking up a pencil, Hot Wheels car, whatever. Shaving their legs for females is honestly a big one. Sneezing. It's
Ugh,
because
sneezing.
yeah,
It took me so long to be able to sneeze without pain and fear. I just enjoy sneezing
Yeah.
now. It sounds weird, but
'Cause you feel it.
pain-free
You feel it
sneeze.
right
I
in the
just
back.
have to like brace myself, and I was so scared it was gonna hurt so bad. That's
Yeah.
how I knew I was fully healed, when I could sneeze and not be afraid.
Yeah, it was like a big deal.
It was a big deal.
I just sneezed with no back pain.
I know it was
Yeah.
a big deal.
Performance indicator.
I know.
Yes.
But
So
yes,
stupid.
and so it's just like you would expect it, unless you change that fundamental thing. Like the problem is not the lifting. The problem is all other things that go into it. It's exacerbated by lifting because now you've pushed your body to its edge, which is positive, but you've now found the weak spot.
Yeah, because you've been performing that range of motion, like you said, with low to no weight, no load, and now you're putting it loaded. So beyond coming to see you, which is definitely what we recommend for people, like how can you identify that, and how can people like improve those imbalances? Like what would some of your suggestions be for those low back, and we'll say, or insert any joint?
Yeah, I mean, the first part is just understanding that you probably aren't as good at bending over as you think you are. We
Mhm.
have to go straight to the back. It's like the 4 stages of learning, which is you don't know how bad you are, then you realize how bad you are, and then you start to realize you're getting better, and then pretty soon you end up so good that you don't even realize how good you are. So identifying that. So maybe it's one of those things where you just in front of a mirror, in front of your iPhone with a video, you just kind of bend forward. You could do a squat, would show a similar type of action, and see what it looks like. And then it's a matter of just really, it's like kind of doing the same motions, but and with less demand is usually what if you're in my office, I'm looking for what's the hardest position you can perform the activity correctly. So some
Mhm.
people you're on your hands and knees and you're basically doing almost like a squat with your feet up against the wall, but like you're on all fours.
Mhm.
Maybe it's stretching your hips, stuff like that. But running through just a general range of motions. But trying to isolate where you're bending through or moving through is probably the number one thing.
Mhm.
It's hard for me because I'm such an individualized person. I don't do big
Yeah.
picture questions like that. That
That's
is
why
not
I
my
said
personality
first
strength.
go see you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in general, just make whatever task it is easier. Like unweight, if you're working on squats, hold on to the back of a chair or a couch or a band. Just make whatever it is easier,
Mhm.
and build up from there because you're not going to get better form doing a harder version of a movement you're already not good at.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
We do have a text
Okay.
from ending in 1010. Do you believe in the inversion machine for your back?
It has its place. It's so for people who aren't familiar with inversion, you're basically laying on a table that can tip. So it tips you backwards. That classically people get stuck upside down.
Yeah.
Really, you probably shouldn't go past 30 degrees, and it takes a long time to get that. But it inverts your weight and reverses gravity essentially on your body.
I'm guessing that that's probably something that you should probably be doing before you need to do it, right? For it really to be effective. Like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like if you're in the middle of like a really bad, like a back spasm, probably
don't.
that's not the time
Yeah.
to start
Jump
trying
on
to do
there.
inversion.
You will not
yeah.
get off of it. I
Right.
promise you.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know, I think like, it has its purposes. You know, probably number one thing I see it work well for is for people who have stenosis or arthritis back there, like physical changes where you're trying to open up space for nerves. Discs, it can help. But also, like you said, like discs usually come along with muscle spasms. If it's acute, usually that goes poorly because now you're trying to long-term stretch on a muscle that's spasmed. It may feel good in the moment, but as soon as you put gravity back on the whole system, it usually does not go well.
Yeah, usually when we talk about to relate this to like nutrition, sometimes people will be really leery about like eating eggs or whatever. Like, oh, I don't know if I should eat 2 whole eggs. And we're like, well, most of the time people who have high cholesterol don't have high cholesterol because they're eating 2 eggs in the morning. They have high cholesterol because they are, eating fast food. They're eating same thing with that. Like most people who have back pain, it's not probably a lack of inversion that's causing the back pain. So it's I mean, I guess if it's not, it's something that people could, if
It's
you
a
enjoy
tool.
doing it, right?
It's a tool. I wouldn't go out and buy one myself. Off the bat, there may be a time and a reason, but I probably would seek other options first. So I'm also like as a chiropractor, I'm not really, I say beliefs, but like I'm more into science, right? So I believe in them. I believe that there's an application for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think that the premise is solid. If you have to figure out what are you trying to achieve and just support it. So
Yep. That's a good question.
yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you
It's
listening.
a
Text
good
it in.
question with a vague answer, but that's
Yeah.
kind of how it is. Like it's not going to be something that is going to work for everybody necessarily. And I think what you had said briefly was like starting slowly is probably the best with everything, as everything goes. Yeah.
So you
don't
wouldn't
be
just
that
want to
one.
go hang upside down for
upside
an
down.
hour?
No, I'm trying to picture.
Have you not seen that TikTok? That girl had to call 911. I know, but
I don't
it's
have
probably
TikTok.
on a Facebook reel too. Let's be honest. But she got stuck upside down. She had to call 911 with her Apple Watch because she was in a place by herself, like a 24-hour fitness type place. She had to call 911. There's nobody else that she could get to.
Couldn't do it. Sit up to get up.
No, she got stuck upside down.
Mm.
So yeah, start slow.
Start slow.
Well,
Yeah.
some of the best advice you ever had given me.
Oh gosh.
I know this is
The rearranging of our furniture. Is that it?
well, kind of.
Yeah.
But no, it was just like because I had a couple years ago, I had just this shoulder pain right in my shoulder blade, and
Which I think is such a common
yes,
thing.
It is very common.
so
Yes.
this is really what solved it. This was the expert. I mean, expert advice.
But
was
this
the-
is what Dr. Adams
Yes,
specializes
yes.
in, is like fixing it without having to see you a lot of times.
Because I went the first time and he gave me some homework and I was like, oh, it was still kind of hurting. So the second time I went in, we were moving my neck around, and then he just told me not to look down. And I was like, well, that's kind of, well, that's easy.
I could do that.
I could easily not look down. This is going to be great. I get in my car. First thing I do, look at my phone.
Yeah.
Literally
Creatures of
within
habit.
2 seconds, I'm just down like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. It's like just one of those moments where it was
Light
like,
bulb moment.
yes.
Yeah.
And then I start to thinking about laying on the couch. How am I laying on the couch? Well, my head is on the
Yeah.
arm, and how is my neck?
Correct.
Like this.
Yeah.
I go to take a bath. How's my neck? Like, I mean, everything I
Yeah.
was doing was like that.
Yep.
So once I started to get more conscious of that,
You stopped looking at your phone. You had to get rid of your little pillow in your bathtub.
I had a little bath pillow.
Got to get rid of that. We had to rearrange the furniture in our house
We
so you
did.
could sit in a recliner and look at the television.
Yep. So we did all that stuff. And now it's like when I'm not focused on that, sometimes I will get a little pain back there, but then I'm just like, I know exactly what to do to correct that.
Yeah.
So holding my phone up where I'm not looking down. But it was just literally 1 second into the car and I'm just right down to my phone.
Well, so that's the same thing, right? It's the same thing as like bending over, right? You just do it over.
Yes.
You don't even realize you're doing it, right?
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes I have to step back and be like, I'm probably making this too hard. I'm blaming muscles and nerves and stuff. It's like,
Make it simple. And that's what I tell our members whenever they're have been complaining about something chronic happening in pain, and I always tell them to go see you. And I always tell them to, like, you love those complicated cases. Like like it's, if you're going to go in there and you're going to give him this and he's going to think about this constantly until it, right?
It's like a puzzle.
Right. Yeah.
I always tell people, I might think about you in the middle of the night. Not weird. My brain's just trying to solve problems.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Which is so awesome and so hard to find sometimes in the healthcare like realm. It's hard to find somebody that actually like sees you as a project instead of just as a number or, patient.
Yes.
All right.
Well, we're going to go to break.
Last
We'll
break.
be right back to finish up with Dr. Adam from Spine and Sports Chiropractic. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Husker fans, your fourth-ranked Nebraska wrestling team needs you to pack the Bob Devaney Sports Center on Friday, January 12th for their Big Ten home opener and a top 5 matchup against number 2 Iowa. The duel will begin at 6:30, and the first 300 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling shirt. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Have you been accused of a crime? Is your liberty and freedom at stake? At Liberty Law Group, we are committed to defending the liberty and pursuing justice for those accused. Going to court is stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. At Liberty Law Group, we carry that burden for you. When legal troubles are keeping you up at night, trust Liberty Law Group to fight your battles. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 7th and Van Doren. God bless you.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome in. Final segment here with Dr. Adam from Spine and Sports Chiropractic. If somebody's having some ailments, what is the best way for them to reach out to you and get a hold of you?
I think I need the background just in my office all the
Yeah, it's nice. It's
Yeah,
catchy.
it's like motivating.
You'll get some extra steps in. Just bop into it. I do bop to it sometimes.
So my clinic is on 17th and Pioneers. It's called Spine and Sports Chiropractic. There's a little Metal Arc Health building, a couple other doctors' offices in there. Kind of behind the venue, there's an urgent care over there. I think it's probably like 2 blocks east of 70th Street.
Yeah, it's right by the Stacy Lane Hy-Vee. It's on the other side of the street.
Yep, across the street there.
Tucked in.
Yep, I'm there 5 days a week, and we have multiple doctors there if the times don't work out. I am on Instagram. I have a little account kind of dedicated to the sports side of things called move.allout.
Which you've gotten a lot better about.
I've gotten better.
Posting content. I know.
Yeah, I'm not real good. It takes way too much time.
I know we talked about it last time you were on the show. Maybe that was your New Year's resolution last year.
Probably was.
And you're just now getting around to it.
Right.
You've done a lot better in the last probably 2 months.
And I just decided, like, I create healthy people, not content.
That's true.
That's what I tell myself when I feel bad about not posting.
No, it's fine.
But I try to put some case studies on there once in a while just to kind of show
You put
what
a
I'm doing.
you put a poll out there, and I was really going back and forth between if it was hamstrings or hip flexors. It was like running injuries, right? More
would just be
common.
injuries in general?
Oh,
I
I said hip flexor, but the answer was hamstrings. I was wrong, but I was really going back and forth between the two.
You know what's awesome is that everybody on there biased towards what I've treated them for.
That's true. That's probably true.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Wow, this is my problem." Everybody has
Weird
this problem. I'm just an average person.
Yeah. So move.allout.
Move.allout. Yep.
On Instagram.
But honestly, I spend most of the time in the office and with my family if I can. So.
But you also do community outreach stuff.
Yeah.
I know you've done stuff with the running club and stuff like that, and you have
For sure.
something coming up.
Yeah. So every year, for multiple years, oh man, it's probably 10 years plus now. I help out with Lincoln Running Company puts on marathon training class. So I help out with that. I usually give a talk and give advice there. But I love speaking at things and kind of sharing, just help keep people active is my main goal in life. They don't need more barriers. So if I can help remove barriers, then that's my goal. But here at the end of the month, I will be at Coach Grayson's baseball camp. So Coach Grayson is a strength and conditioning coach, focuses on baseball. He does every sport. He spent some time working with the Padres organization out in California, but he asked me to come out and help with his camp a little bit. So I'll be out there on Saturday and Sunday, the 27th and 28th of January. There's a younger camp on Saturday, an older kids camp on Sunday. It's about 3.5 hours. They'll have nutrition talk. They'll kind of talk about some warm-ups and throwing. They have some baseball-specific stuff. So if you're interested if you have kids that are interested in sport-specific training or seeing what's out there, just want to test the waters, this little Diamond Performance Camp would be good. And so if you want to check that out, you can go to coachgrayson.com. It's Grayson with an E. Or if you look at Coach Grayson on Google, you'll find his webpage, and you can find some more information there.
Yeah, I think there's a Facebook page too. You could probably look that up on Facebook.
Yeah,
too.
there's a Facebook page.
Yeah, awesome.
But yeah, so I'm out and about, helping at community events whenever I can, and then,
coming on the radio.
Yep.
Third
time, three-peater.
Yep, it's fun though. This is fun.
Yep. Talk about things that you're passionate about. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And also, we're big proponents of the Husker road race.
Yes.
That's in the July. So last year we had partnered with Dr. Adam, and him and Nicole came up with some strength training videos, some recovery videos,
a running plan
running
for a
plan.
5K, which we will totally refire
Yes.
up for next year or
And
this year.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
it got rained out.
Yep.
So hopefully this year, of course, I said that was the
Goodness.
best 5K because I didn't have to run.
Yeah.
I just got to hang out with
Well,
all the
we will
Husker
tee
players.
all of that up again
Yes,
this
yes,
year
yeah.
too. So we'll have those resources available if you're interested in training for a 5K. Dr. Adam helped create some videos of some strength training routines that you could do to supplement the running. We have a pretty easy run program that you can do kind of as a beginner. So we'll start teeing that up a little bit more too. But definitely thanks to you for helping out with that.
Yes. That's it's a great motivation to get started in a fun environment, which I think is key.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Happy New Year.
Mhm.
Hopefully you reach all your 2024 fitness goals.
Yep.
Yes, Dr.
Yep.
You're
Everybody,
on
yep.
it. Go get your
Yep,
running.
yep. I'll get it there too.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be back here next week live in studio on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket. Have a great week.